With the big telephone company, for caller ID, call blocking, call forwarding, call waiting, and three-way calling, you can end up paying almost $50 a month for all that. But with Rev Voice, you get all those features for free.
A man shot and killed outside a Cable Beach hotel. A husband and wife appear in court on firearm and ammunition charges. Crime in 2015 decreased by 5%. We've got more details on last year's figures. Plus, NIB giving employers an opportunity to catch up on national insurance contributions. We've got those stories and a lot more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and MB12 starts right now. Top news tonight, police say a man was shot to death in the street outside a hotel on West Bay Street after he got into an altercation with another man late Wednesday night. According to Chief Superintendent of Police Paul Roll, the incident happened just before midnight in the area of the Land Shark Hotel. He said an off-duty police officer happened to be in the area when the drama unfolded.
He had an off-duty police officer who was driving his personal vehicle here in the area of this resort behind me when he observed two males in the street appeared to be having a struggle and involved in a fight. He stopped his vehicle and was about to make a check when he heard reports of gunshots and observed a male on the ground.
Roll said immediately following the shooting, 9 people crammed into a Nissan Primera and sped off east along West Bay Street away from the crime scene. That's when he said the off-duty police officer called for backup, and mobile officers were able to intercept that escape vehicle and take those 9 people into custody.
We also recovered from the pursuit a firearm which we have in our possession now, believed to have been used in the homicide. EMS responded here, and upon examining the individual, pronounced him dead on the scene. And so we believe those persons in this vehicle are responsible for this latest homicide here in Cable Beach.
Roll also gave an update on a police-involved shooting that occurred last night in the area of Cox Way. Reports are that at around 4:30, officers from the South Beach Police Station were on patrol on East Street when they were sideswiped by another vehicle. When the civilian vehicle didn't stop, police chased after them.
Realizing that the person sped off, the officers turned around and gave chase of the persons who then went into the Coxway and at a high rate of speed and turned into a cul-de-sac, finding themselves then blocked in. The driver of the vehicle exited and armed with a knife attempted to run, had nowhere to go. He then charged at the officer, who drew his pistol and shot the individual to the upper body. This man was transported to hospital where he is right now listed in serious but stable condition.
That man was taken to hospital where he is listed in stable condition. A husband and wife appeared in the magistrate's court this afternoon on 34 firearm and ammunition-related charges. Rajiv and Katina Dames appeared before Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt and pleaded not guilty to all of the charges. Rajiv Dames in the black sweatshirt and Katina Dames in the red striped shirt, both of Seymour Drive, Freeport, Grand Bahama, were represented in court by attorney Ashley Evans. They were charged with 31 counts of possession of a firearm with intent to supply and 3 counts of possession of ammunition. For counts 1 through 5, it is alleged that on Saturday, February 6, while at Grand Bahama and being concerned together, the pair was in possession of a Glock 9mm Luger pistol. They were also charged with possession of a Taurus 9mm Luger pistol with intent to supply, 3 counts of possession of a Glock .40 pistol, 12 counts for a 9mm magazine, 3 counts for a .380 magazine, and 4 counts for a .40 magazine. The duo is also alleged to have had 751 rounds of .9mm ammunition, 176 rounds of .40 ammunition, and 86 rounds of .357 ammunition with intent to supply. They were further charged with possession of 18 rounds of .357 ammunition, 13 rounds of .32 ammunition, and 2 rounds of .38 ammunition. They pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Their attorney, Ashley Evans, told the court the couple has a 4-year-old son and have been married for several years, and Katina Dames has been employed at the Grand Bahama shipyard. Evans also said that Katina has no connection to any of the firearms or ammunition, which she said were found in a separate apartment that she doesn't live in. But the magistrate said the defense would have to file an affidavit so she could be in a position to determine whether or not to grant bail. The issue of where the matter should be heard was also raised in court, with the prosecution arguing the matter should be heard in New Providence, while Evans said Freeport. Ferguson Pratt said she would make a decision on bail and where the matter will be heard. Rajiv Dames alone was further charged with driving an unlicensed, uninspected Toyota with dark-tinted windows and without insurance. He pleaded not guilty to all the charges. The couple was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until their next court appearance on February 18th. Murder, attempted rape, unlawful sexual intercourse, and armed robbery all increased in 2015, despite crime decreasing by 5% overall throughout the country. Our Simone Davis has more on the 2015 crime statistics released by the commissioner yesterday.
The 2015 crime report revealed that murders increased by 19%, attempted rape increased by 33%, and rape increased by 16% in the entire country since 2014. However, all other categories of crime against persons, except manslaughter and attempted murder, decreased by double digits. While manslaughter remained unchanged, attempted murder decreased by 9%. Greenslade said, notwithstanding the circumstances of families, which he says the police force understands, but everyone has the collective ability to stop the violence.
We as a people are going to have to come to terms with the fact that if we continue to cloak that kind of behavior, we continue to cloak murderers, unarmed robbers, rapists, serial offenders in terms of housebreaking and stealing from vehicles, smashing windshields and windows of cars, and taking your valuables in the churchyard, wherever you park them. If we continue to cloak that, we're going to continue to reap the world we're in. We have the ability, I said when I became commissioner in 2010, to stop this, to do something really significant to stop the hemorrhage.
Now, as NB12 reported yesterday, 126 of last year's murders took place in New Providence, 17 in Grand Bahama, and 3 on the Family Islands. The stats reveal that attempted murders fell by 9% from 22 to 20, and manslaughter still stands at 3. Police said 46% of the murders that occurred in 2015 were solved. However, when Green Slate presented crime statistics for 2014 early last year, he noted that police had solved only 43% of the murders that occurred in 2014. While the detection rate last year is higher than the previous year, Green Slate said the rate is lower than it has been in previous years because of the intimidation of witnesses by those accused of murder who were granted bail, retaliation killings, and witnesses recanting their statements due to pressure.
And so my point is, two things we must concentrate on. One, continuing to work with mothers and fathers, relatives and friends, not being adversarial, but in saying to them, we understand. We understand where you live, we understand the social nuances, we understand how difficult it is for you on a daily basis trying to make ends meet, and then we add to it this adversity of this child who just wouldn't listen. This male child that simply won't respect you, won't respect siblings, and won't leave your property. And won't leave the street corner. Most times that's the way it is.
Rape in the nation increased by 16% from 75 to 87, while attempted rapes rose by 33% from 12 to 16. Unlawful sexual intercourse increased by 11% from 111 to 123. Armed robbery rose by 5% from 920 to 967, and robbery decreased by 43% from 350 to 200. Attempted robbery also decreased by 61% from 31 to 12. Green Slate noted that incidents of armed robberies are too high and the root causes of crime must be addressed, adding that no amount of moaning and groaning about statistics and pointing fingers in all directions would solve the problem.
Armed robberies are too high. But what do you expect if you have all of these young, healthy-bodied men loafing about in communities, not looking for jobs, no prospects for any jobs, don't seem to be interested? I've already told you they're selling illegal drugs. We're not telling you that because we dreamt it up. That's what the facts tell us because they have antecedents and we know them. And so you take them into custody and a short while later they're back selling drugs. They're not getting any help for their drug abuse or their drug use.
Crimes against the property decreased overall by 5%. Burglary rose by 2%. Housebreaking fell 25%. Shopbreaking rose by 2%. Stealing fell by 18%. And stealing from a vehicle increased by 14%. And stolen vehicles rose by 8%.
The police commissioner says there must be a collaborative national effort in encompassing the police force on education, intervention in the schools, and improving unemployment.
Stage that we're going to have to do a lot more crime prevention stuff, a lot more school intervention stuff, a lot more educational stuff, a lot more let's get them employed stuff to keep them out of that serious arena. But if you kid yourself in thinking that you find this lovely little crime prevention that some consultant or whomever have told you about, that you come in and just drape over this fella that's such a bad boy, and all of a sudden his gun will disappear, he will no longer sell drugs, and he's just going to be pious, you are in a fairy tale land. So we've had a terrible year.
In total, there were 8,476 crimes, including in the statistics for last year, compared to the 8,879 crimes in 2014. And of the reported crimes in 2015, 6,912 of them were committed in New Providence, 820 were committed on Grand Bahama, and 743 on the Family Islands. Green Slate said the policing plan for 2016 would tackle all these issues effectively, as he hopes that the initiatives of the police force would lower the crime rate even more. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
You're watching the best in Bahamian news. There's more when NB12 returns.